Now I'm going to be looking into the sun, so when I come back I may be doing that. Hey, I got to editing photographs from yesterday's foray down the Natchez Trace. Today's Wednesday, the 20th of November, and noticed some high, thin clouds moving in, and I thought that might make a sunset shot. So I came out to the shores of Old Hickory Lake, just a few miles east of Nashville, and I've been out scouting with my camera to find a place to put it down, put the tripod down, and I think I came across a spot down here that's going to be perfect depending on where the sun actually sets. My friend down here apparently is a gray heron. He and I came to an understanding earlier that I wouldn't peck him if he didn't peck me. So we'll see if that truce holds as I get down here and get set up. Hey buddy. Hey pal, remember me? I'm the non-threatening guy with the camera from earlier. Yeah. I'm gonna come towards you. Don't freak out, man. And the sun is bright. And he's irritated now. There he goes. See ya. I don't know exactly where I'm going to squat yet, but because my legs are old and I made the mistake of playing American football when I was younger, my knees hurt when I squat for a while, so I'm going to use my handy camping stool should I need it. Meanwhile, let me get set up and ready. I think we've got right at an hour before the sun actually sets. Should give us plenty of time. We'll see. Note to self, where the rock is wet, the rock is slick. That may be too wide for clean living, I'm not sure. Pretty nice. Whatever lens I use, I imagine I'm going to, at least my plan right now is to put a 6-stop ND on it, and that way the water in the foreground will definitely smooth out. Plan to be shooting at ISO 100 right now using a 23mm lens, and let's see how that composes. Pretty nicely. There's a phone pole about 100 meters off there that will have to come out. But I think we're going to have some nice, if these clouds don't dissipate completely in the next hour, we're going to have some very nice underlit clouds once the sun dips below the horizon. We'll hope. And if I focus midway down this big log, which is the driftwood, most of the foreground interest, I've got some wet rocks in the actual foreground, and everything from about 4.5 feet to infinity's in focus. That should cover the range I need to cover to pull focus from front to back. I have this waterlogged heavy piece of driftwood here I'm going to put out here for a little more interest in the foreground. Let's see how that looks. Love my little camp stool. Doesn't dump me in the water, it's very handy. I don't think it's going to get a lot better than that, folks. I don't know if this lens shade is going to be helpful or not, but it couldn't hurt. I've shot a series of exposures from a bulb of, I think, 4 seconds all the way up to a 500th of a second, all at aperture f/22, because I may want to shoot I may want to combine some exposures where I just get these wispy clouds, which are pretty cool, along with the slick surface of the still water, thanks to the 6-stop ND. So f/22 Shutter speed from 500 down to 2 seconds, 1/500th down to 2 seconds, and ISO 100. So now it's just sit here and wait for the sun to get low. That may be a little better angle of view for you to watch what I shoot. At least I'm giving you some idea of the foreground interest and direction. I may scramble down here and move this little piece of driftwood I've placed once I can see it a little better in the frame, but the sun is, the angle of incidence of the sun on the water right now pretty much precluding any of that, and you're probably getting one mother of all lens flares in that wide angle zoom I keep on the vlogging camera. It's at 11 millimeters on a 1.6 crop sensor camera, so what is that, 16, 18, something like that, pretty wide. That's if you didn't have the lens flare, you'd see it about like that. I always found that if I don't pay attention to this, I'll put the tripod legs right where I want to put my feet, and then in the middle of an 8-second exposure I'll just kick the living hell out of the tripod. So I try to be mindful of that. I'm glad I came out here. These clouds are diaphanous. That's what they are. They're diaphanous. It was starting to get a little golden color here. I don't know if you can see that on my lovely face. And these clouds are sexy. I'm going to show you a couple of raw file captures because I know my final here is going to be a blend of at least 2 raw files, and these are the 2 that I chose to blend together in Photoshop. I want you to notice how the raw files can look just like nothing, like you can't ever do anything with them. But if you go in with a plan of exposing for one area and then exposing for another area, and then follow any number of blending procedures you can find for free on YouTube, you can come up with something worth your time and worth your effort. I'm back on bulb. I'm at F13. ISO 100. Everything from 5 feet to infinity is in focus. We're waiting for the sky to catch fire. Get the surf's up. You can't see me, well, I can't see you either. So, thanks for hanging out with me in the dark. I'm probably a silhouette. That's why I look so much better than I usually do, because I'm a silhouette. That's the reason.